This is the major problem of the world. Adaptation and the mitigation strategy. Climate change is the big issue in the world, especially in agriculture sector, which are dealing with the different sectors like horticulture, agronomy, pulses, oil seeds, and other livestock sectors. Therefore, government is concentrated how to make the strategy to meet out these challenges. In this regard, we are approaching different issues, different factors which are minimize the problems which are related to the agriculture. In this regard, therefore, raising the temperature and suddenly rainfall in the short duration. This is the problem for the agriculture, soil sectors, forest sectors. Now we can see currently in this years, in rainy seasons, we are showing in the television and directly what is the ratio of the soil erosion, and several crops are left due to lack of pollination situations. In this year, due to high temperature, which are raised up to 44 to 50 degrees Celsius, several crops are damaged, like summer crops which are not pollinized properly due to high temperature. These are the issues of the climate change. Content in my presentation: introduction, meaning and definition, need of the climate resilient practices, national initiative on the climate, resilient agriculture, research strategy, and conclusion. We can see here climate change and its variability are emerging as a major challenge influencing the performance of the Indian agriculture. Long-term changes in the shifting weather pattern result in the changing climate, which threaten for the productivity through high and low temperature, rainfall variability. In this year, once or other part of the country is affected by the drought, floods, cyclones, hailstorm, frost, and other climate events. This is the major problem of the current agriculture or climates. Climates refer to the ability of a system to deal with the stress and the disturbance while retaining the same basic structure and the way of the functioning capacity for the self-organization and the capacity to learn and adapt the change. This type of the These are the meanings in this. Climate resilient practices means intercropping and adaptation, mitigation, and the other practices in agriculture which increase the capacity of the system to respond to various climate-related disturbances by the resisting damage and the recovery quickly. Adaptation and mitigation defined. Adaptation is referred to adjustment of the ecological, social, and economic system in response to actual or expected stimuli and their effect on the or impact. This term refers to change in process, practices, and structures to moderate potential damages or to benefit from the opportunities associated with the climate change. Mitigation is an intervention to reduce the emissions sources or the enhance the risk, enhance the sink to greenhouse gases. These are the factors which are responsible for the climate change. Adaptation strategy, what are needed for the save the agriculture, save the climates, developing cultivar tolerant to heat and salinity, stress and resistance to flood and droughts. There is a big issue for the current agriculture for the scientists related to these situations, these factors which are damaging our agriculture, need of release and develop the in this area is resistance varieties for next generation agriculture. Next one, modifying crop management practices. We are doing from the ancient agriculture in common practices, but now needs to develop the cropping patterns. Now need to change in our cropping pattern like intercropping, pre-cropping, lead cropping with the selected species and varieties. There is a way to meet out the climate change effect by the modifying crop management practices. Multi-layer cropping, other techniques like adopt the bower system in vegetable sectors, which are especially in cocoa beets, which are minimize the issues. Next, improving the water management, how to manage the water, which are now we can see all the rivers in flooding situation. Now we are facing the drought 15 days before. After 15 days, I have no water for the irrigation in most part of the countries like MP, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, other states. In this regard, we need to develop a strategy to conserve the water in form of ponds, lakes, dams. This is the need of the today. Therefore, we are trying to develop the local areas, water bodies, and modify the agriculture along with the water bodies like chestnut cultivation, makhana cultivation, paddy and makhana cultivation, intercropping. Adopting new farm techniques such as the resource conserving technology. In my current agriculture practices, we are transplanting rice, we are broadcasting rice and wheat and other leguminous and oilseed crops, but situation is changed. This is not performing techniques in current scenario due to climate change, due to high temperature, due to rainfall, high rainfall, frost. Now we are practicing some technologies to mitigate this problem, like zero tillage, use of the zero tillage in agriculture, use of the paddy planters, use of the happy seeders, sowing the crops. These are the techniques which are mitigate these issues for current agriculture scenario. Use of zero tillage, we can save the time and enhance the crop window, which time are spent for the preparation of the fields, we can save. Along with time saving, we can also save the money which are spending in plowing and transplanting labor. This technology help to mitigate the crop span, required crop span, and provide the full-fledged duration for the coming crops, means the Rabi season crops. We are using in Kharif season so that we save the 15 to 20 days for harvesting of the rainy season, especially paddy crop up to September. Then wheat sowing is properly we can sow in the month of November. If we can do it, he save his crop to the thunderstorms, high temperature in the month of March when heat waves are started. Due to this problem, we can lose his production and productivity of our crops. Crop diversification. This is also a big sector which are needed for the current season, current time cultivation in the scenario of the climate change. We can diversify the crops. How we can diversify. We are tents, wheat, paddy, ILC. Now you have a chance, you have a choice to diversify his crop with the intercropping with the vegetables, fruits crops, spices, tuber crops, which are less affected from the climate change factors, and minimize the losses of the single monocrops or monocrops, and apply the multi-tier cropping system, especially in agri-horti. You can see the ginger, turmerics in the orchards of the lychee, mangoes, guava. You can apply the techniques of papaya cultivation with the vegetable crops, intercropping. This is the crop diversification. Improving the pest management practices. This is also a big problem due to high temperature, resistance power of the pests. It may be a disease or the insects are improved. In current scenario, which fungicide, pesticides are available, day to day deteriorated of his effects on that particular pest due to develop the resistance in those pests. Other better weather forecasting. Now it is more important for the current agriculture scenario situation. We can aspects to meteorological departments which are doing perfect at this time due to enrich the technology and satellite research system. We can know what is the situation of the weather in coming 1 week, tomorrow, up to second half. We can judge the weather forecast. This is the major factors which is support to farmers to select the type of agriculture crops. Drought condition situation coming in the future, we can pick up the varieties or crops which are susceptible or suitable for the drought. We can save our loss due to average rainfall condition crops. Crop insurance. This is the also important issues factor which are help to farmers to mitigate his losses. Governments are provide the crop insurance in all sector. We can get the benefit after loss the crop by the hail storms, floods, frost, cold injuries, especially in vegetables, most affected sector of the horticultural crop vegetable due to frost. Harnessing the indigenous technology knowledge to farmer. It is also important sector which are help to mitigate the climate change problems. I have several technology in plant protection or in case of fertilizer, we are using ancient. Now, it is these are the required for the chemical-free agriculture. In this sector, Jivamrit, Ghanamrit, Bijamrit, as like several products which are using in incident. Nowadays, we are recommending for the organic cultivation, natural cultivation, minimum tillage cultivation known as natural condition cultivation, and other issues are incorporate of the traditional sowing methods, seed treatment methods, pest management methods. That time, people are using chili garlic extract for the controlling the major pest in the crops. Now we are coming mitigation strategy to the climates. We are discussing about it, which are affected by the climate change scenario, restoration of the degradation land, which are most affected by the climate change. Cropland management I had discussed recently. Nutrient management is also a big problem. In flood situation, we can apply the nutrient in the condition of the flood. We are lost the fertility of the soil. This type of problem which are occurs in current situation. In case of land, we cannot make a gram soil, but due to this situation, flood situation, we are losing million tons of the fertile soil from its fields. Livestock management is also affected. Livestock is also affected by the climate change, high temperature, flood, frost. Animal sector means improving the feeding practices now needs to develop according to the situation his feed practices. Manure management, anaerobic digestion, more effective, more efficient use as the nutrient source. In this area, 2 or 3 types of programs running in the country. Climate resilient agriculture, CRA, known as CRA, and climate smart agriculture, CSA, and NICRA. all the programs which are running against the climate change, motto and objective are same. This type of program is running in the country. These are the NICRA, networking project in the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Objectives of these projects, NICRA or CRA or SA, enhance the resilience of Indian agriculture, covering crop, livestock, and fisheries to climatic variability and the climate change through the development of and application of improved production and the risk management technology to demonstrate site-specific technology package on the farmers field for the adapting to current climate risks. Other enhance the capacity building of the scientists and other stakeholders, maybe FPO members or farmer youths, in climate resilient agricultural research and its applications. The project consists of the four components: strategy, research, technology, demonstration, capacity building, is sponsored, and competitive grants. These are the major factors which are needed to meet out the climate change effects. Village level interventions towards climate resilient agriculture is running in all these three projects: building resistance in the soil, building resilience in the soil, adaptive cultivar and the cropping system, rainwater harvesting and the recycling, water saving technology, farm machinery, custom hiring center is also a big facility for the small and margin farmers which are not bear to cost of these implements. Crop contingency plan is also a important factors. If we can lose in the main crops, we can lose the main crops in season, Rabi or Kharif or Zaid. How to mitigate this loss at once after past that situation? This is called crop contingency plan. As like we are losing the paddy crops due to flood situation, due to drought situation, we can move for the other contingent plant like early oilseed crop, early vegetable crops, early potato, which can mitigate the loss of the major main crops. Livestock and fisheries intervention. Now, this is known as IFS model, animal based. This is the two types of IFS model, crop based and animal based, which are most popular system techniques to maximize the income of the farmer and minimize the losses. By this, we can say that farmers can achieve the double income in unit area, from the unit area. Water-based agro advisory, weather-based agro advisory, I have discussed before. Institutional interventions, now need of these days to collaborative work with the other institutions, other universities, other countries to develop the resistant varieties against the drought, against the flood, against the frost, and intellectual exchange within. These are the module. Now we are working in our university crop-based module, which are known as CRA. This is the major climate resilient agriculture sectors, health, integrated farming system, custom hiring center. These four sectors are needed to meet out the mitigate the climate change problems. This is the scenario of the India for kind information. Total cultivated area I have 142.2 million hectare. Rain-fed 87 million hectare. Contributed 44% of the food needs. Irrigated 62 million hectare. Contributed 56. Total degraded area 120.7 million hectare. Water erosion 73 million hectare. Wind erosion 12.4 million hectare. Salinity and alkalinity 6.64 million hectare. Soil acidity 5.7 million hectare. Problem associated with the conventional, also techniques to of the crop which are using traditionally. This is the zero tillage I am discussing before. Zero tillage epicenters. What is the conservation agriculture? Conservation agriculture is cultivate the crop with the minimum losses. Minimum tillage is known as conservation agriculture. Is also important factors for say erosions of the soils, erosions of the plants, plantation crops, trees. Goal of conservation agriculture is the issues. Why we do it? Several issues, weather problems, potential benefit to the conservation agriculture. These are the factors which provide the benefits enhancing the soil quality by the conservation agriculture. Reduce the income cost, input cost. These are the compare of the conservation tillage where we can say the minimum tillage cultivation is known as conservation tillage, like terrace farming, zero till farming. Type of these are the strip tillage, reduce the tillage, zero tillage, mulch tillage. These are the zero tillage crops without tilling, with the mulch. Now we are doing on the CRA project with these technology. I would like to say in these technology at farmer fields last 4-5 years, zero tillage technology is the most beneficial for the enhancing the income with the low inputs, and intercropping system of maize with potato is the most profitable technology for the farmers. These are some data which are compromised: zero tillage, wheat, raised bed wheat, zero tillage lentil, mustard. Now we can see here, this is the demo block and check block. We can increase the yield in percentage against the check through the demo techniques, these techniques of the demo plots. This is the also try to calculate the BC ratio. What is the input cost of the cultivation with this technology, and what is the output. Now we can see here demo plots provide the maximum 4.25 BC ratio in the raised bed maize, and maize with potato cropping 4.17. Now I can say here, want to say this technology, only maize cultivation is also profitable compared to the wheat and paddy and other oilseed pulses crops. And maize with potato cropping system is also a new techniques adapting by the farmers and getting the maximum benefits. These are to some field views of data collections. These are also a Kharif season crop, that one Rabi season. These are the major crops which are using. Now we can see here DSR is also a technology with zero tillage. We are sown the seed of the wheat and paddy after plowing the field, known as DSR. Without plowing the field, known as zero tillage or happy seeder techniques. Also a crop cutting data observation. Is also working on the millets and conducted the several training programs in last years to improve the capacity of the farmers and the FPO members. Thank you.